Right, you horrible collection of fish. Recently put up like a weapon tier list, and I said that Repulsor is basically one of the most powerful weapons in the game. And I've never really shown Repulsor in a build. There is kind of a reason for this. I really don't like the whole mechanic of swap to alt fire to shoot, to swap back, to do more damage. It kind of annoys me. I prefer more passively aggressive mods. Just press the button, it does its own thing and things die. So I don't really use it a lot. However, it is absolutely busted. And with the way in which Hunter Set now works, you can basically make this thing up in a multitude of different ways. And there is one way in where it is able to hit absolutely stupid numbers. However, kind of a little bit squishy. So this kind of takes a bit of practice. I've been playing around with this build for a little bit now, and I've kind of got it working-ish, and I found a few different ways on how I would build it in certain and different situations. So I'm going to post 4 builds up. This is why this video is a bit longer as well, so give me a second here. So generally speaking, I'm using Sword Off, Repulsor, melee weapon. I like using World Breaker because it's a nice backup. Hunter's Set, and I'm using all of this for the build in the background footage. So what you're seeing in the background is this build. Talisman of Animosity, it's just helping to get a little bit more weak point damage out there. Hunter's Band for some base damage as well as weak point damage, and Empowering Loop, just because although you can get pretty decent access to the weak points, not all the time, so I want to push out a little bit more damage when I'm not hitting weak points as well. So I've tried to buff both sides of it. This setup is a bit different. It's a little bit more damaging if you are accurate enough to consistently hit those weak spots, because we are using Ring of Flawless Beauty. Adding in the multiplier of the Hunter Set, this does hit pretty damn hard. Hunter's Band still, and I'm using Gunslinger Charm just to try and up the rate of fire so you can get a little bit more damage out there. If you're still wanting more weak spot damage, you can go back to Talisman of Animosity, but I've just had better results with the Gunslinger Charm on this. This is more for something along the lines of Barber Thrones, and you do hit very hard using that. Right, this one's a bit weird. I actually really quite like this one. It's more of a crit way of doing it, but you can also get some pretty juicy weak spot damage in on the build itself. Using Shattered Vertebrae along with Devouring Loop. Still using the Corrosive Aura in the Sword Off. I'm not sure if people saw that, but the previous build was using it as well. And the way Shattered Vertebrae works is every time you don't get a crit, you gain 2% crit chance and 5% crit damage. Overall, the necklace does give you a good 10% increase on damage, but it's just going to help bolster up those crits. And when you do get a crit, it's going to do a good chunk more. And then Devouring Loop can proc. And you do some hilarious numbers. And I have found that overall, it does actually increase my damage. So as sort of like a flat baseline, that would be like sort of the highest base flat line of the builds, where others can peak a lot higher. The Shattered Vertebrae does allow you to do some stupid numbers. And then finally, we've just got sort of like a Billy Basics build. You're not too bothered about weak point or crit. We just want to shoot the thing in the face with a shotgun. But we still do have a little bit of damage output on there. So we've got Empowering Loop with Gunslinger's Charm. They kind of counteract each other with the up in the fire rate, bringing down the fire rate. So it's just reload speed and damage out of that. Hunter's Band. And then we are using Cold Spear on the Sword Off, simply because slow things down basically means the slower things move and don't jump around as much. You can shoot them in the face more with a shotgun, which is really nice. And they die quite well and fun. Anyway, that just about does it for me. Have fun, good luck, and don't die. It's bad for the health.